Okay, let's try this again. Hi, welcome back. Where have you been? I know that's a question you have for me, right? Where have you been, lady? Wow, it's been what, 10 years? 10 years since we started this channel and really didn't do a lot then, but hopefully we're going to do a lot now. Um, my name is Steen, and welcome to Allergy Living Made Easier for Adults. Yeah, I've been gone for a while, right? 10 years started this whole thing out. Some of you guys kind of remember um, little documentary, video thing that I did, kind of explaining my allergies and why I started this whole process um, a long time ago. And then I just kind of like faded away. Um, it's a long story. Not a long story. No, it's a long story. It's a 10-year story. We're not going to get into it in this video. It's too much. But that did provide me, those 10 years did provide me with some material and some wisdom to share with you guys. Yeah, when I started Allergy Living Made Easier, some of you may remember, I was newly diagnosed with a lot of food allergies, like life-changing food allergies. And I was just gung-ho. I'm the type of person that when I come across something or something happens to me, and first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look for resources. And if I don't find resources, I'm going to be a resource. And that's exactly what I did way back 10 years ago. However, it was a little premature, a lot premature, because I was not in a place to be a resource to anybody. Not at all. When you develop food allergies as an adult, first time in your life, I mean, it's almost like you got an adult again. Seriously, and I'm not being dramatic. And if you are newly diagnosed with food allergies and people have told you, oh, you're just being dramatic, yeah, tell them to suck off. No, you're not. No, you're not. This is a whole big thing. It's a life-changing thing that affects a lot of your relationships, your work environment, just the way you live in general. Um, and for me, it was very traumatic. It was very, very traumatic with the types of foods that I was allergic to, and just how my allergies were manifesting. It was horrible. Um, but we'll get into all of that. We'll get into all of that again. But today I just wanted to do in this video, just kind of say hello again, reintroduce myself to you, and really kind of set the focus of what I want this channel to be. And let me just say, I hate being on video. I can't stand it. It drives me crazy. I don't know. I'm self-conscious. But I wanted to bring the channel back because I'm just going to be completely honest with you. About 2 weeks ago, I bought some new pots and pans. And I was all excited. I'm like, ooh, I want to find some new recipes and I'm going to cook some stuff up. So I went down the internet rabbit hole looking for different recipes that were allergy-free for me. And there wasn't that much out there. And I'm like, well, what the hell? And, it's been 10 years, right? Since, back when I was diagnosed, back around 2015, 2016, when I was diagnosed, there wasn't a lot of resources out there for adults. There's a lot out there for children, but not a lot for adults. And, the reason why I started the channel. And I thought that there would be more resources out here for adults within that time frame. One of the first things that I noticed when I first started looking into adults with food allergies was that back in 2015, 2016, it was an epidemic then that nobody was talking about. It was kind of like a silent epidemic that no one was talking about. And I think at the time, like over 9 million people were newly diagnosed as adults with different food allergies. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of people, and nobody's talking about it. Again, the reason why I started this channel, because I wanted to be someone to talk about, to be out there talking about it. So fast forward 10 years, and I researched the numbers. It's still a quiet epidemic, and the numbers have doubled. It's over 20 million people in the United States, adults, that have been diagnosed, newly diagnosed with allergies at an adult age. And that is crazy that nobody is talking about it. And those numbers were from like 3 years ago, like 2021. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. So back to the whole story of the pots and pans. I'll get to that in a minute. The numbers. You know I like numbers. So I bought some new pots and pans. There were no resources out there. I start going down the whole rabbit hole of trying to find resources for adults. I'm like, hey, what's out there? So I typed in adult food allergies, and you know what popped up? This channel. I'm like, oh, it was Allergy Living Made Easier, and it had in parentheses adults. Now, mind you, this was 10 years ago. I literally forgot that I had the channel active. And I want to say personally to the 14 people who subscribed and stay subscribed, you forgot to hit the unsubscribe button. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, because you are the ones who kept this channel alive and kept it open. And I immediately did not recognize it, and I clicked on it, and I'm like, oh, sugar nuts. That's me, right? I created that. Those little videos, oh my God, those 2 little videos that I put up with the dancing peppers. What in the world was I thinking? Oh my God. I'm gonna leave those up there because it kind of humbles me and reminds me of the how naive I was back then and just desperate to try to get something out there. But as soon as I saw that, and I was like, you know what? It was almost like the universe was saying, yeah, there's no one out there. There's not a lot of voices. And if people are going to Google adult allergies and you're the one that pops up, maybe you need to kind of bring it back. So let's bring it back. And I said, okay, universe, I'm going to bring this back. But if I'm going to bring it back and I'm going to do it right. I want it to be a channel that provides resources and information, but I also want to provide some conversation. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of resources out there for children, rightfully so. There needs to be for our most vulnerable individuals in society. We have to have resources for them. But there's also some, rules and laws that have come into place. A lot of changes to policies at schools, which is absolutely wonderful. But nothing has changed for adults. Nothing. Like, navigating the whole work environment. That is something that really needs to be addressed and talked about. I'm so glad to see policy and rules changing in schools for children with food allergies. Plus, children have extra advocates. They have us, their parents, and their community that can advocate for them and protect them. But as adults, we don't have that. We don't have that protection. Who's protecting us? Who's advocating for us? So because we don't have that resource, it can be lonely. It can be lonely. It can be disheartening. It can be depressing. Yeah, I experienced some of that depression. Just dealing with different relationships and different environments. And yeah, so you're not alone. You're not alone. And that's what I want this channel to be. I want to, of course, provide you with some recipes that I find. And there's a lot of cool things on the market now, different foods and different resources and things like that. So being able to kind of like, I'm not going to try to reinvent the wheel here, but, bring things into like one area for you so that you can have something, a reference to kind of go to, hopefully I hope to be that. So we're going to talk about relationships. That's a big thing with adults, not just our, intimate relationships, but all of our relationships. I don't think we really, you really don't understand, or I don't know if understand is the right word, but you kind of take for granted how much food plays into your relationships, in your social relationships. Once you can't have certain foods that everybody else can have. Yeah. Thanksgiving just passed. I had a great time, but there were instances where I didn't because, my food allergies weren't taken into consideration and I couldn't enjoy certain aspects or certain um, events. That happens. Um, so I want to talk about that. I want to talk about how, food plays a big part in our social relationships and how when we have boundaries or when we have food aversions, it creates boundaries um, across the board, So I want to talk about that. I also want to talk about just like, food anxiety as a whole. That's a real thing. That whole fear of eating. I want to talk about that. I also want to talk about different types of reactions. And I want to explore every type of food allergy out there, right? Because it's not just nuts, fish, and gluten, right? You know this. I know this. But the media and the internet and society as a whole, they kind of put us in this little peg of, or put us in this little box of having one of the big three. And there's so many different allergies out there. And there's so many different ways you can react. And people don't understand that. So I want to be a resource for you, but I also want to be a resource for your friends and family. Somebody that you can say, hey, check out this video. Listen to what Steen has to say. Let her explain this. Let her break this down to you. And I want to have some fun too. Listen, I'm going to tell you, full disclaimer, I love to have fun. I can have a wicked sense of humor if I want to. But, I like to have fun. And I like to try new things. And I really want this to be a place that you can do that you can explore and understand and know that you not to focus on the things that you can't have or the things that you can't do. You to focus on the things that you can do and the things that you can have by exploring new areas and new relationships and new cuisines, right? That's what I want this place to be. And I hope to do it this time. I want to do right by you this time. So you're going to notice a bunch of videos dropping this week. I'm going to just record a whole bunch and drop them this week. That's motivation for me to keep it going and to stay on task this time and to really be that voice for you. If you have questions or if there is something that you want to talk about or a topic you want me to go over, you can email me. Allergylivingmadeeasier@gmail.com. I am putting together a website that will be available at the end of the week. And I'm also going to do like a holiday theme, right? I want to get into, let me just tell you. All right. So over the 10 years, just navigating regular food, I've never been a baker. Never been a baker. But I really, with my allergies, I had to learn how to make bread. That's one thing I learned how to make. And I make good bread, different types of bread and muffins. I can make good muffins. But I suck at cakes and cookies until recently because I've been taking classes. On how to make gluten-free, wheat-free, allergen-free baked goods. Because, when you go out there really aren't a lot of options. Not where I live at. So I've been learning how to make some of those things. So next week, we're going to be doing some of that. You're going to be helping me. Well, not helping me. You're going to be watching me potentially make a fool of myself as I try to make these cute little designer cookies that all these, badass baker chicks make on Instagram and show beautiful pictures. I'm going to learn how to do that. I've been taking a couple classes, watching some videos, and I'm into it this year. I want to do that. So look for that. I'm also going to be trying out some new foods, some things that are on the market because, when you have food allergies, a lot of times, right, we have to cook things from scratch, and that's okay because you know what's in it. But sometimes, you want to just pop something in the microwave or pop it in the oven and keep it moving. But there's not a lot of options out there for that. Or so we don't think, right? But there are more and more products on the market. So I want to try some of those for you within my allergy, my allergy reason. I want to try some of those for you and share them here, do some reviews for you. Also, a lot of the food that we, the prepackaged food that's allergen free, it's expensive, right? You don't want to pay $8 for prepaid mac and cheese and it's nasty. No, nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to do that. So I will do that. I will do that for you. And I will let you know if it's good. And then you can know if you want to invest in those types of things. So, yeah, we're going to have some fun. But before I go, let me just tell you what my allergies are so you can know what to expect. Okay? So I am allergic to poultry. I am allergic to pork and beef, wheat, oats. I have a lactose intolerance that I think now is an allergy. It's really kind of weird. And soy, big soy allergy. So I will not be consuming any of the foods that contain those products. But I will also be mindful of other allergies because I know that there are people who have nut allergies. My daughter has a tree nut allergy, but she can have peanuts. So I'm very mindful of that. Very mindful, very demure. No, I am going to be mindful of things. I also know that there are particular food allergies that are on the rise, and I really want to talk about those as well. And actually, I'm going to do a separate video on that. So this video, I talked a lot, but I hope you continue to join me. Like I said, if you know anybody that has food allergies as an adult, newly diagnosed, or you yourself newly diagnosed, or if you've had allergies for a long time, hey, join, subscribe, share. We want to kind of create that community so we can have those resources and be a real community for each other. All right, until next time, have a great day.